All right, let's talk about these PFF rankings. So I've been doing it week over week. Last week we did linebackers, D line, and wide receivers. We're kind of going through the positions for Pro Football Focus rankings, and I'm not gonna sugarcoat it, folks. The secondary rankings, we're not doing well. Our defense, PFF does not think highly of our defense. But like I said towards the end of last episode, continue to underestimate us, continue to think that we're bottom of the barrel and we're going to surprise you. I mean, like I said, our defense tends to operate at a fairly nice level for like 3/4 of the game. It's just like the one quarter where they just completely shit the bed. Anyway, we're ranked 27. So James Bradberry, he's kind of our marquee. Baker is not going to factor into things. A lot of people thinking that Sam Beal is going to be the starting corner opposite of a Bradberry. I would think that Darnay Holmes is probably the favorite as the slot corner. I also think that, there was a poll that came out from one of the Giants accounts I follow. Who's going to have the most interceptions? I think it's going to be Darnay Holmes because I don't think a lot of teams are catching on to what happened with him in college. The fact that he had the injury last year, and when he was healthy the year before, he was like an elite corner, top of his game. I guess you would have Ballentine compete with Beal on the outside. Chris Williamson, the gopher, will back up Darnay Holmes in the slot. They also mentioned Montre Hartage, but I don't see him making waves. Grant Haley was our slot corner in 2019. Opposing passers had a rating of 114.2 when he was targeted. Bethea is gone, obviously. Julian Love will compete for the free safety. So Julian Love is another big question mark. Do you put him at safety or corner? I think Xavier McKinney is a clear favorite to be the starter opposite Jabrill Peppers. Of course, people are comparing McKinney to Isaiah Simmons, which is always nice. They're saying so they're lumping Love in with the safeties, and I honestly think that he has a chance to play corner. So whether it's, do you put Darnay Holmes? Maybe you say to Darnay Holmes, hey, we're going to give you a shot on the outside, and then you put Julian Love on the slot. Do you put Julian Love outside and put Holmes in the slot? The legend of Sam Beal continues to grow and grow and grow. We've been hearing about this dude for so long, and he got some playing time last year, and he didn't really split time with Baker, and people think that Beal is going to be the guy. But Holmes is the name, and maybe I just got too hyped by that friggin' video that came out with him and Jabrill Peppers. But I have a lot of faith in Holmes. I think Holmes is going to be open some eyes and be a starter. And I think Julian Love, you have to get him on the field in some way. I don't think he's going to lose snaps or lose time this year. Grant Haley is the odd man out, in my opinion, unfortunately. Unless they decide that Haley is going to be like the run stopping in run situations, you put him in the game in the secondary. I could see that happening maybe. Right below us in the secondary rankings is the Washington football team. Quentin Dunbar, who's their top corner, went to Seattle, and I would assume he's got to be on the exempt list as well because I think he's the dude with DeAndre Baker. They lose Dunbar. They got Collins. Pro Football Focus said that he's yet to recapture that form that made him a Defensive Player of the Year candidate with the Giants, but he is at worst a solid starter. He didn't do a whole lot against us, I don't think. They also picked up Ronald Darby from the Eagles and Kendall Fuller from the Chiefs, which are names that I recognize, but I don't think they're going to make a huge impact there. We have the opportunity to match up well with them in the passing game if we can protect this house. Number 22 is the Cowboys. At safety, they have Xavier Woods with possibly HaHa Clinton-Dix or Darian Thompson. There's a name that should ring a bell. I always thought HaHa Clinton-Dix was far and away a better player than Darian Thompson, but I don't know. Obviously, they lost Byron Jones. So that's another team that we should have some success against in the passing through the air. And then number 12 is the Eagles, which I think is just much like their wide receivers, and this is where PFF gets a little funky and weird. It's like you were just saying in our best and worst case scenarios, you were just saying that the secondary and the wide receivers are like wild cards that you're not sure what you're getting, but you're ranking them higher than us, much higher than other teams at the wide receiver and secondary position. So you picked up Darius Slay, but is he the same Darius Slay that he was in his prime? Probably not. Then they rattle off a bunch of names I don't know, and then they have Nickell, Robey-Coleman in the slot, who they got from the Rams, and Jalen Mills will move to safety. So Slay, Coleman, Mills, you just had to figure out that other corner position. Eli Manning came back and lit him up last year. I think they're susceptible, so 12 seems awfully high, dude. What about backfield? Running backs, the running back units. How do we rank there? This is like the only group that is ranked highly. We're at number 10. So obviously it's most of that is due to Saquon Barkley. They do mention that Dion Lewis is coming off a 59.8 overall grade with the Titans, which is a career low mark. Not great. And then we also have Wayne Gallman, who's in the last year of his contract. So who knows how he performs, knowing that he could have a big payday if he plays well. What I'm not loving about our setup here is like Barkley, Lewis, Gallman. Barkley has been criticized repeatedly for his pass blocking abilities. Like, who is the pass blocker in this mix? Is it Gallman? Is it Lewis? How are we using Gallman? Like, Lewis, I guess, is a change of pace back who's mostly a pass catching back. But I mean, Barkley's a pretty good pass catching back as well, as is Gallman. You know, I keep thinking back to like Thunder and Lightning and Earth, Wind and Fire and like units like that where it's like, okay, Brandon Jacobs is the Punisher and Derek Ward is kind of has a little bit of speed and power, and the same with Bradshaw is hard to tackle because he's smaller and he's more elusive and whatnot. How does this unit gel and come together? And like, how do you use them in certain spots and different spots? The article did not mention Elijah Penny, who is like, I know I've said this before, but he's like one of my favorite Giants running backs. I feel like they did not use him correctly under Shermer, and I hope that Garrett is able to utilize him more this season. Of course, we also have John Hilleman and Javon Leake on the roster. Hilleman's a Rutgers product. I think he's year 2. He had that devastating fumble against the Patriots that swung the game, the momentum. And then Javon Leake is an undrafted free agent from Maryland who I've heard good things. I don't know. What really sours my puss is that the Colts are ranked above us. Who are the fucking Colts running backs? Marlon Mack and Naheem Hines. They're really a top 10 unit. We'll see about that. Number 26 is the Washington football team, which seems, I got to give them credit. It seems a little low. Adrian Peterson, Darius Geis, Bryce Love, J.D. McKissick, and Peyton Barber. You could do worse. Number 20 is the Eagles, which I also think is low. Miles Sanders, Boston Scott, and Corey Clement, all of which have burned us on multiple occasions. So Miles Sanders is a pretty dynamic player. Boston Scott shows he has some move, and Corey Clement still has got something in the tank. So very weird that they're ranked 20th. And then number 3 is the Cowboys because of Ezekiel Elliott, which go F your Y, dude. Why? Like what? Tony Pollard and Elliott, like those are the 2 guys that are going to put you at number 3. The only reason Elliott's any good is because he has the best offensive line in the fucking game. You put him behind the Giants offensive line and he's not doing what Barkley does. Get out of here with that nonsense. Cowboys running backs don't deserve to be number 3. Elliott will be donezo before Barkley. There, I said it. Also ranked the starting quarterbacks, but they didn't do it by number. They did it by tiers, which is such a cop-out. So they have 4 tiers: tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, tier 4. Tier 1 is 2 dudes, and they classify tier 1 as high-end quarterbacks who can carry a team. High percentage of positively graded plays, limit negatively graded throws, most likely to achieve high-end passing production, no matter supporting cast. 2 dudes: Patrick Mahomes, Russell Wilson, which I wholeheartedly agree with. Although, I mean, you can't discount Tyreek Hill when talking about, and I mean, you're kind of discounting the effect that Hill has along with the tight end that they have. Jesus Christ, how do I not remember him? Wow, that's sad. The tight end, he's really good. So, I mean, it's not like Russell Wilson I could understand more because he hasn't really had the weapons that Mahomes has had, I think. So, interesting that they would put Mahomes in that tier. Tier 2 are quarterbacks who are more likely to elevate the teammates and achieve top-end production even with lesser supporting casts. Good chance to rank among the top 8 with or even finish as the top signal caller in any given year. And this group includes 6 QBs. That's Lamar Jackson, Deshaun Watson, Matt Ryan, Tom Brady, Drew Brees, and Aaron Rodgers. How you put Matt Ryan in this category is interesting. Super interesting. And did they not put Matt Stafford in this tier? I guess they didn't. I didn't include all the names in tier 3 or tier 4, but tier 3 is volatile or conservative quarterbacks who will rely even more heavily on supporting cast and play calling, can post top 10 production in any given year in the right situation. And this is where Dak Prescott and Carson Wentz sit, which, yeah, I mean, that's pretty spot on. So I'm not going to disagree with that. They had Joe motherfucking Burrow in this tier. Dude hasn't taken a snap in an NFL game. And this dude is in tier 3? We'll see about that. I mean, yeah, the Bengals did a hell of a job getting them some weapons in the draft, but like, really? Okay. And then tier 4, bottom tier. These are quarterbacks with more question marks, either due to lack of experience or seeing them perform at a high level in the NFL, or due to volatility when given extended opportunities to play. And this is where Daniel Jones is, which I can see how you can say he was tier 4. Based on that description, I can see why they put him in this tier based on last year, just strictly on the turnovers and ability to get rid of the ball and not take sacks. Okay. But in this tier, you have Ryan Fitzpatrick, Sam Darnold, Josh Allen, guys that I just know Daniel Jones is better than Dwayne Haskins. Tier 3 had Baker Mayfield. Daniel Jones is a better quarterback than Baker Mayfield. Boom. Said it. I think you're going to see Jones come out and have, I was almost going to say MVP year, but he'll have a better year than Baker Mayfield. I know that much. So those are the PFF rankings for quarterbacks, running backs in the secondary. Yet again, we're being underrated and underestimated, and I like being the underdog because the only way to go is up. So would have been nice to have like a normal training camp with a lot of new players, you got young players who need time to gel and whatnot. But we're gonna see them come together live in real time week 1. We'll probably have a better sense of what the Giants are in week 5, and hopefully we're not 0-4 by that time.